Dave Abrams.
And I'm Kristin Lagana. Welcome to Anne Arundel County Week in Review. In this episode, we'll look back at the 2018 Maryland General Assembly session and look at what a national restaurant chain is doing to give back to the community. But first, making headlines this week. We have great news for those of you who live on the Mayo Peninsula and Heritage Harbour. County Executive Steve Shue announced this week that paramedic substations will be added to the waterfront communities to improve response times starting in May. The pilot program is in response to concerns from citizens living in communities that have one way in and one way out. A traffic accident, downed tree, or downed power line can quickly back up these peninsula roads, making it difficult for emergency responders to get through. Here's a look at the building that will be used in Mayo on Pure Water Way. You can see the old Public Works building looks a whole lot like a fire station. Even better, the facility is located on an access road that runs parallel to Route 214, the main road traveling down the peninsula. The Heritage Harbour location will use the Heritage Harbour Community Association Lodge. This is great news for these communities, right, Dave?
Yeah, and how about that lodge? Like, I'll see you down at the lodge.
At the lodge.
Later. But, Kristin, let's break this down for a minute.
Break it down.
Because, we hear from our friends in Mayo on social media quite a bit. And some of them are very outspoken, sometimes a little upset. I just want to go through, a couple things we've been working on.
The floor is yours.
Thank you. So, okay, we made some improvements to Route 214 and 468. Which, by the way, are state roads. The county is not responsible for those roads, nor are we. It requires even more effort to help the state than to stay out of the state's way.
Yes.
So there's that. We're improving the parks there. We're doing things like, no more parking on people's lawns, and, we're talking about special pavers and, running water or bathroom, stuff like that. We got a new substation, EMS substation, and we got a new capital project coming up to improve Loch Raven Road. I don't know if you've experienced this, but it's one of those spots where it's hard to get across to turn because of the traffic going up and down 214.
Yes, I'm familiar.
So that's some pretty good.
Pretty awesome.
And we also rerouted the sewage to the Annapolis plant.
That's right.
And it no longer discharges into the Road River.
That's right.
That's a good
Pretty
list.
awesome.
Isn't that a good list?
I think it's a great list.
I'm just saying. All right, let's get on with the show then.
Let's do it.
Well, speaking of cool new stuff, Kristin, it's just about time for the annual county budget presentation. Are you excited?
I'm so excited.
I know you are.
And I just can't hide it.
I know you can't.
Yeah.
You try, but you just can't. On Tuesday, May 1st, Shue will deliver his budget address and proposal to the County Council. The speech begins at 11 a.m. at the Arundel Center in Annapolis. The presentation is open to the public, so Kristin can come. But let's say you have to be at work.
Oh, no.
Right? Tuesday morning?
Right.
Probably going to be at work. Well, no problem. The speech will be carried live online on our homepage, aacounty.org. Just go there on your phone, tablet, or desktop and scroll down to the bottom of the page. Then click on Watch Arundel TV Live, and there you are.
That's amazing.
Boom, you're watching the speech. Now, Kristin, I cannot divulge the details of the budget.
Well, can you give me a few hints?
I can give you a few hints.
Ooh.
So there will be tax relief for our citizens.
Very good.
There will be some exciting news for teachers and police officers.
Oh, my sister's a teacher. That's great.
She's going to like it.
Yes.
There will be road upgrades, new libraries, and new schools.
Oh, we know about the libraries. We got the 411 on that.
We'll see. Don't. Yeah. No, you're right. We did do it. We did kind of got the cat out of the bag on that one. You're right. But that's all I can say. You're not going to get anything else out of me. That's it. You have to wait till Tuesday.
Mum's the word.
Tuesday, 11 a.m., aacounty.org. Click on the button. Boom, you're watching it live.
Boom.
There you go.
Well, it's Friday, everybody. Do you have plans tonight?
Maybe.
No?
No.
Good.
Okay.
Head on out to Severn for a night of fun and basketball with Anne Arundel United. The Baltimore Shuckers are hosting Anne Arundel County Night at the Annapolis Area Christian School. County employees get discounted tickets as the Shuckers take on the Fort Wayne flight. There are also special rates for veterans and active duty military personnel. Now, Dave, I've done some scouting for this game.
No, you haven't.
Yeah, the flight are the two-time defending Central Basketball Association champs. You have to pay attention to Antonio Cannon. He can get flat out, get to the rim. The Shuckers need to make sure they clog the paint on defense. And for the Shuckers, they really need another Antonio Wright to bring his A game. Wright scored a career-high 35 points and added 10 rebounds against the Bowling Green Hornets. So this will be an epic battle of guards, Dave. I'm looking for Wright, who is from Laurel, by the way, and played for Essex Community College, shout out, to have a big game.
Wow. I mean, I don't even know what to say. Like, how did you do that?
Slam dunk.
Man, you know a lot about basketball.
Hey.
Whew. Well, we'll have to see if you're right. We'll see if the
I'm
Shuckers
right.
take
I
care
could be
of business.
completely wrong.
The two Antonios, who knew?
Yeah, Antonio's.
Antonio Wright. Let's see if he can drop 35 points again.
Let's do it.
Well, we're about to take a quick break, but when we return, we will talk to Delegate Nic Kipke about the 2018 Maryland General Assembly session. Take a look at our community calendar for events happening around town, and we'll be right back.
These are cool. Did you, what did
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Well, welcome back. Joining us in the studio this week, we are very delighted to have Delegate Nic Kipke with us. Mr. Kipke, how you doing?
Great, glad to be here.
Glad to have you on the show finally. We get to talk about you from time to time on the show, but we haven't had you in the studio yet, so very excited. Tell us about how long you've been a delegate.
I was elected when I was 26, actually.
Wow.
So like 2 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't age at all, but it's been about 12 years, and those years have been cram-packed with a lot of work for the district and a lot of political change in Maryland.
Mm-hmm. What area do you represent?
I live in Pasadena, and my district is 31B. Because of the way our districts are drawn, that looks like a big jigsaw puzzle. But basically, I represent some Glen Burnie, some Millersville, some Severna Park, and all of Pasadena.
So a little bit of everywhere.
Yes.
I like it.
Yeah.
So talk to me about some of the highlights and some of the lowlights from the session in Annapolis this year.
Yeah, so when session began, Governor Hogan gave the State of the State speech, and in that address, he really pressed everyone to put off campaign politics, not be like Washington, D.C. Legislators, and work together. And overall, I would say we were successful in that, which is really hard to believe in Maryland, to be honest with you.
It's very hard to believe.
I'd agree with you too on that.
Yeah, and we got through some really meaningful bills that are, real stuff, real things that will improve people's lives in Maryland. One of those bills has to do with addressing repeat violent felons in our state. In many jurisdictions, people who are really dangerous go to jail regularly and get released regularly, and they constantly create victims throughout our communities. And we passed in a very bipartisan way legislation that will keep those very dangerous people out of our communities and behind bars. So that's not an easy thing to do, believe it or not, in our legislature. And it was one of the most meaningful things that we could have done to address violent crime in our state.
I got a good one for you. I bet you don't get this question a lot. Your title within the legislature is Minority Whip, right?
Minority Leader. Yeah.
Minority Leader,
Yes.
excuse me. Minority Whip is below. So tell us what the Minority Whip and the Minority Leader do.
So we're elected by our caucus. So as a Republican, all the Republicans vote for their leader and their whip, and the Democrats do the same thing. Because they're in the majority, they elect the speaker and a majority leader and a minority whip. But basically, because we have a Republican governor, my job is to help Larry Hogan with his legislative initiatives. And when we don't have a Republican governor, when we had Martin O'Malley, for example, my job was to,
Tell everybody to vote no.
hold him accountable. So the
Good
role,
way of putting it.
the role has changed dramatically over the last, with Larry Hogan in office. And then the whip, technically, their job is sort of like to rally the votes among the caucus members. But yeah, our whip is Kathy Shalega, and we work together basically to advance good policy. The governor has been sort of a nonpartisan guy. He's sort of, moderate, focused on business issues, quality of life issues, and so it's been really great working with him.
I know all about Leaders and Whips, by the way.
Why?
Not because of AP government in high school, which I should remember it from, but because of House of Cards.
Oh, House of Cards, of course.
Always
That's
giving me
where
the
we
need
get
to
all
know.
of our education
Yeah.
from.
Which, of
Oh my
course,
gosh.
was filmed in our state
That's
house.
right.
That's right.
That's right.
It was. Talk a little bit about social media, because you're one of the better elected officials we have in this area in terms of how to use it. You really get it. What do you like about it?
Coming from Dave, that's quite the
I
compliment.
know.
by the
I
way.
don't say that about
Yeah.
anyone.
Yeah, well, thanks. I see it as a way to know what's going on in the community, and also to inform the community. So when there's a controversial subject, for example, I put out there, what do you think? And people are not shy about sharing
Definitely on Facebook.
their opinions.
The other thing you do that I think people really like is you are on it with the state highway project. So if there is, because a lot of people don't understand the difference between county and state roads, and they call us about Mountain Road or whatever. If folks, just here's the easy tip: if it's a number, it's a state; if it's a name, it's a county road usually. But you have all the information about that. I think people love that because they really want to know what's going on with their road.
I try to stay ahead of what's happening, and I try to get it out there so people are aware of it. And it's hard to keep up with, honestly, because when there are problems, I could have 1,000 people contact me in an hour, and I want to get back to everybody, but it's not, always easy to do that. But it allows for me to be available. I mean, as a legislator, I represent the community, and there are some legislators that show up on election day or right before the election, and I'm available every day, and I work hard for my community, and because of that, people have rewarded me with 3 terms, and but I also enjoy it. I grew up in the community. These are my neighbors, and it's a real honor to represent the neighborhood where you grew up.
Pasadena's awesome. You mentioned the bills regarding repeat offenders, criminal justice. Any others that we should make people aware of that you're proud of from this session?
Well, we also did a lot in terms of criminal justice. It's not just throwing the book at the bad guy. We're trying to get smarter about how we do it as well. So in recent years, we've passed legislation that we call justice reinvestment, basically for folks who have drug addiction, and that's the reason that they're committing crimes in their community or stealing. We're trying to get them help, and we're trying to break the cycle that they're in. And this session, we were successful in expanding some of that. In Baltimore City, for example, we can't just look the other way when there's record numbers of violent crimes and murders. And so the governor has put money forward to do some investment there, to try to take a risk and see if we can't change some of the problems that we're seeing. I was disappointed this session to see that the governor's authority was taken away when it comes to school construction dollars. The governor and the comptroller have really teamed up to hold education systems accountable. And because of their work in Baltimore City, Baltimore County specifically, classrooms that didn't have air conditioning and classrooms that didn't have heat suddenly have heat and air conditioning. And because of that, they ruffled some feathers, and the legislature took their authority away. They no longer have direct oversight over that. And I'm really disappointed to see that would happen. And I'm hopeful next session we can restore that authority, because it made a difference.
I'm sure you will be back for another one.
So before next session, what's next for you? Any good vacations planned?
Well, we have elections to get through. We have the primary in June, but I have 2 little toddlers at home, and I can't
Give them some shout outs.
Yeah, shout out.
James and Evelyn.
James, Evelyn, Susanna, shout out.
So hopefully, we're looking forward to getting away to probably Deep Creek Lake for some rest and relaxation.
Yes.
You know,
You gonna turn your phone off?
well, the good thing is
There's no
there's
service.
no cell service out there.
Good,
So,
good.
Perfect place to go.
So we'll have fun with the little guys, and I'll make sure we have a spot where they've got a jungle gym and swings, and we'll just slow it down a bit and take some time for us.
Well, we have loved having you on this week, and we appreciate all the hard work you're doing. If folks want to connect on your social media, how can they find you on Facebook?
On Facebook, it's basically just Delegate Kipke.
Delegate
You
Kipke.
put that in the search bar, and my page will come up. And thanks for having me. I've enjoyed it.
We've enjoyed having you. Come back whenever you'd like. Delegate Kipke on Facebook. You can follow him there. And we will be right back with more Week in Review right after this. Don't go anywhere.
I, Krista, take you, Jamie, to be my wife.
When we found out that we were pregnant, we were just elated. We were just sitting there waiting for the pediatrician. She said she won't be taking you in as a client.
We are a lesbian couple, but she's just a baby. She's the one you're denying the service to.
Welcome back. Now, Chick-fil-A is about more than waffle fries, chicken, and sweet tea. Local stores are out in the community doing some nice work to help people. Pat Daly has more. Pat?
Thanks, guys. It's community service on full throttle with Chick-fil-A. In October 2017, the new Chick-fil-A in Annapolis opened, and I'm here with owner and operator Michael Edmonds, who is going to tell us more about two different significant events. The first 100. What exactly was that?
So traditionally when a Chick-fil-A restaurant opens up, we have what we call the First 100 event, which allows people to come and earn free Chick-fil-A for a year by being the first 100 guests, but they camp out overnight. Having lived in our area for the majority of my life, Anne Arundel County, I wanted, and being involved with Chick-fil-A over the years, I wanted to try to do something different. And so we came up with this idea of taking the first 100, loading them up on buses, and going around and serving our community. And so that's what we did. At the end of that event, we provided them with their free Chick-fil-A, and we had another event that was going on for our guests in the community. And I ran into one of our longtime guests. He comes in and eats with us all the time, probably 4 times a week. I'll leave his name anonymous just because of he may not want everybody to know that. But he challenged me to do this event again. And he said, Mike, he said, for somebody like me, somebody like him, this type of event would give me the opportunity to tip my toe in the water with different organizations in our community, and I may be able to find something I can be passionate about. He goes, the thought of just going out and showing up someplace and volunteering, he said, that scares me to death, but I'd sign up for an event like this. And so that was what sparked this idea of this becoming an annual event, and brought us to the event today, where we've partnered with Sam's and Shoppers and other businesses in the community, and to support the Lighthouse Shelter and the Backpack Buddies program, and the Wiley Bates Residence Center and the Stanton Center. Connecting our community residents with the needs in the community is part of who we are and what we're about at Chick-fil-A.
So this would be the first Annapolis service tour for Chick-fil-A.
This would be the first official Annapolis Serve Tour. Yeah, the event that we did as part of our grand opening, Chick-fil-A Inc. helped support that event, was called the Road Tour. I called it the Serve Tour, the Service Tour, but we are kicking this off as an annual event that we're going to do to try to partner with all kinds of organizations and folks, and again, give our community residents the opportunity to connect with our community needs.
What's on the agenda for the rest of the day?
So we still have one more stop at the Stanton Center, where we're going to be setting up and donating like a book exchange. We've been collecting books at our 3 locations over the last couple of weeks, and so we're going to donate all of those books and meet there at the Stanton Center and expose people to the great work that the Stanton Center does. And then we'll be heading back to the Chick-fil-A restaurant. This morning we've already been, like I said, at the residence at Wiley Bates, the Lighthouse Shelter, and then here with the Backpack Buddies organization. But we'll head back to the Chick-fil-A restaurant late this afternoon, and we'll feed everybody dinner and then get them free Chick-fil-A for a year for volunteering to help us.
Great. Well, thank you, Mr. Edmonds, for being with us today. It's community service all over. Chick-fil-A's all over it in Annapolis. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Pat. Now, all of this chicken talk is making me hungry. What's your go-to order at Chick-fil-A?
Oh, you're gonna put me on the spot. I get the spicy.
You like the spicy
chicken, whatever thing.
Spicy chicken sandwich.
I don't go there a lot, but I know people are like crazy about it.
It's awesome.
But
I don't know why.
Good for them for helping out.
Yeah, I don't know why I always think of it as the healthier fast food option.
They fool you.
I think of it. They're always so polite there. It's always my pleasure, and thank you for coming in today. I'm a big fan of the chicken cool wraps. It's grilled chicken with lettuce and carrots. It makes me feel like I'm eating a salad, but to go.
In fact, everyone, she has some in her purse right now.
Probably do have some in my purse right now. So
you don't even care if it gets cold, do you?
Don't even care if it gets cold. Speaking of getting cold, I think it's finally starting to warm up outside.
How many times have we said that in the last 3 weeks?
I know, but
what did you say on a previous episode? You said something like it snowed on April 20th.
On April 19th. Good memory. April 19th, because I was working outside for house.
So we've crossed that.
We have crossed that.
We are in the free now, right?
I'm hoping.
You promise?
I don't know. It's Maryland. You never know.
Because you were totally wrong about the snow this year. I'm sorry.
I was off.
You were totally wrong.
Thanks, Almanac. That's right. Whatever. But, we're having 70-degree weather this weekend.
Love it.
We've had some rain and stuff. But I think it's finally that time for me where I'm going to do the clothing shift, which is where I take my winter clothes back downstairs and bring my spring, summer stuff upstairs. Do you do that?
Isn't that just fabulous? No.
No, neither does Will.
I leave it exactly where it was before.
Does Kat have clothes sweaters and stuff Well, you guys are moving, so this is a good time to do that because of the seasonal switch.
Yeah, it's right. It's perfect. It's like now, you can't have a better separation to where you know which clothes to put in this thing and which clothes to put in that thing.
Exactly. So it's a good weekend. Get out, do your gardening, do your composting.
And put your yard waste in a paper bag.
I like that you went there. That's good.
Got to do that.
And of course, good luck if you're going to the movies. We know that Marvel has their Avengers Infinity War coming out this weekend.
Yes.
So it's going to be crazy packed.
I'm behind.
Crazy packed.
I'm behind. So what I'm going to do, here's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I got the perfect hack for this.
Okay, do it.
I'm going to go see Ready Player One this weekend.
Saw it.
I'm going to see Infinity War next weekend.
You didn't read the book, right?
Boom. No, I didn't.
Yeah, don't read the book. Go see the movie first. The book's way better.
But I love all the Spielberg movies.
You're going to love all of the 80s references.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to love. But
do you know how many times I listened to the Back to the Future soundtrack on a cassette tape?
Oh yeah, this movie will have it all for you. Infinity Wars, of course, we know is where they are all coming together to fight a common villain, Thanos. And so it's huge because Black Panther just did really well. They're going to have a lot of Black Panther.
Will there be breadcrumbs?
You mean Easter eggs?
Easter eggs.
Breadcrumbs.
Will there be breadcrumbs
Probably be
or
Easter eggs? But we'll see all of the characters.
Is there a spoiler
Doctor
here?
Strange.
Do we already know what happens in the storyline? Is somebody going to die?
There's a lot of stuff that they do in the comics, but it doesn't always match up. So we don't know what's going to happen.
I think somebody's going to die.
I think someone is going to die.
At least temporarily. Doesn't Captain America die over and over and over again in the comics?
We don't want to say that and spoil anything.
He's frozen, then he's in World War I.
Who do you think's going to die? Go ahead. Let's take a bet.
Captain America is going to die.
Captain America?
Yes.
I'll go with Iron Man.
Whoa. Bold.
All right.
We'll see if the Hulk...
We'll see what happens.
Let's see if the Hulk steals the movie again, because he totally stole that
the Hulk,
movie.
They are also saying might die because there's no chance they're giving him his own solo film because it's been messed up so many times. So it might be the Hulk. We don't know.
I like the Hulk.
Me too.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry, Kristin.
We all have a little bit of the Hulk. Well, whatever you're doing, have a great weekend.
Absolutely. Enjoy the weather. That wraps up this week's edition of Week in Review. You can watch this episode and archived episodes online anytime on Facebook or YouTube by simply searching for Arundel TV. Please tune in again next week for more highlights and news from around the county, and we'll see you next time.